Can you hear me, hon? I can't hear anything on here.
Maybe if I put this. Hello.
No, I don't hear anything. 1 and 2. Want to reset this? Hold on. Yeah. Want to reset the roadcaster?
It doesn't X out.
There's an X right there. All right, I'm hearing music.
Okay, so this came back on.
All right, so now we're going to do this. Can we get some, what does that say up there? Error.
It just says you're not receiving enough video to maintain smooth. I don't know why.
I don't know
Hi,
if
everybody.
nobody can hear us. We're not broadcasting.
Can you hear? I just heard Eric sounds. Oh, sounds
Can you hear?
check.
Can you hear me, Kenny? Big K. I can't hear myself here in the studio right now, and
That's so
I have no
bizarre.
idea why not. Everything is running, but it just
I
isn't
wonder
coming.
if they can hear us. Okay.
I don't think so. I'm going to try resetting again. I can't believe this is happening. This is the first time right now. We're actually kind of stuck.
No, it says audio is good, Chris is saying.
Wow. Okay. But how come we're not hearing it?
Is that not plugged in, this Zoom thing? I mean, this thing?
Yours is, well, hello? Yeah, okay, that was good.
That was a part.
But it's still not coming, through. Oh, this was always like that because there was always a problem with this. How about yours? Is it coming through?
I hear you.
You can hear me?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Can
It's
everybody
this.
hear me?
It's this, honey.
It's your connection.
It's
Aw,
my
man.
connection. So that's why I can't hear anything. Kind of sad.
What about, oh, then you can't wear your hat.
Well, you know what? Forget my hat.
Put on this headset.
You got another hat for me in here? Get another hat for me? That'd
Here,
be
you
great.
want to wear this one?
No, you wear. What are you going to wear?
I have another one here. I have this one.
Okay. Let's try this and see what happens. Man, this stinks right now. Sorry, everybody. Can I hear myself? Yeah, I can. I am number 3 right now. Finally. Killer. That was a killer. At least for me it was. I'm going to put my earphones back on and I got my headset on.
All right.
Wow. Super, super bad, but anyway.
Yeah. Yep. All good, basically.
Oh, man. That was like...
Yeah, I just plugged in a microphone. I got this new microphone.
Yeah. Stand by,
Oh, good.
Dave. Stand by. So what's up, everybody? Welcome finally to the Mr. Poseidon Show. We had a bit of little technical difficulties tonight, but what are you going to do every once in a while? This is a live stream, and that's what happens. Can't expect everything to be perfect on the live stream. It's why it's a live stream. You never know what's going to happen on a live stream. But anyhow,
Last
What's
week
everybody
we got
doing?
You in from California.
Yep.
and that
What's
worked.
up, everybody? How you doing? Let's say hellos first and foremost, quickly.
Oop, reading glasses.
Let me just lower that a little bit. Reading glasses. All right, Joe Albanese, Willie J. Worm Way. What's going on, John Francisconi? Turtle Cove Tackle. Hi, Ro. Haha. I just heard Eric's sound. Okay. Thanks, Big K. Chris Bloth. What's going on, buddy? Chris Bloth on the cover of the Fisherman magazine last year. Picture was taken at my tournament. Great time. Let's go, let's go. Coming up soon, guys. Churchwood. What's going on? Liberty or death? We hear ya. It's awesome, man. I love it when they can hear me. Chris Gannon, thanks so much. What's up, Chris? How's the family? How's everybody? If you're ever up in New York, please let me know. We'll all get together. We have my in-laws now living with me, Chris, so it's a big, healthy family over here. Anyhow, who else do we got out there? We got Rick Talafaro. What's up, buddy? Rick's the man. What's going on? My mom's out there. Hi, Mom. Mike Shrugs. Yo. What's up, Mike? I was in California last week, as you guys know. I was there with Mike Shrugs and his other buddy Mike. Met up with Orlando Ray of Bay Area Surfcast. A bunch of people we met. It was a great time. We went there for the June. That's the person's name is June. And he's More Than Fishing online, YouTube. Check him out. We went there for his tournament. It was great, man. It was super, super, super great. But anyhow, going back to this week, what did I want to talk about, honey? This thing threw me off.
California, I know, that's messed up.
We did California. What was after that?
We have the change. We were updating the Montauk Striper challenge, the video requirement.
Yeah, the video on the Montauk Striper challenge. So it's not going to be taking a picture. You have to take a video. It's very simple. We're going to have a tent set up there. It's a 1-minute class to show you how to take a picture on video. Very, very simple. So we're changing that aspect of the tournament, which is happening October 16th, 17th, and 18th. We got about $60,000 in cash and prizes this year. It's going to be an amazing tournament. We have 20 placings, starting at $5,000 and a championship jacket that you get. Only the champion gets. $3,000 jacket, inside lining, basically 40 or 50 pictures of you in black and white growing up fishing. So it's a really great tournament. 35, 25, 15, and 1,000 for fifth. From 6th to 15th, you have a chance to win a 200 VS Van Staal. That is Van Staal 200 X2 Series reel. We might mix them in with some other ones there. We'll see what happens. But they're all going to be $1,000 reels. I hear my wife crouching away over there. But other than that, 16 through 25, 4, 3, 2, and $100. And then you have the longest cast event. That's $2,000 to the winner. Last year's winner in that area was Delco Joe. That's Joe Pinto. Cast 147 yards. And then also in the category of biggest fish last year's champ Juan Gonzalez came in with a nice fish last year. First place and cranked that $5 and $3 jacket that he got. Also, we do the most accurate cast, $1,000 to the winner of that one. And also we do the woman's treasure hunt. What is that? You got a girlfriend or a wife. She joins that for free because you are a joined player of the tournament, which means you registered and you paid, and she gets in for free. So she joins the tournament. For the women, it's a 2-day treasure hunt. They go to about 10 different stores. They get trinkets in every store. Every store gives them trinkets, which we obviously buy beforehand. So while supplies last, we don't know how many women are going to be in this year, but we buy a good amount of trinkets. I know last year there were leftovers, but we let the stores keep those. They did us the favor. And it's a fun hunt for them. Second day, they go to the treasure hunt, same thing. They meet up in the pizzeria. They have a couple of slices of pizza each. some soda, and they get off on the treasure hunt as my wife, Mrs. P, hands them the map. At the end, a couple of stores gave them letter clues. So you put those letters together, and it's the restaurant that me and my wife are eating at that afternoon. And the first two girls to reach us, and we pair the girls off. We don't let them do the treasure hunt alone. It's safer when you got a friend with you. When they do the treasure hunt and it's done, they show up first, they win each $500 gift certificates to Sephora. So you know the women are going to love that. It's a great time with them. They loved it last year. So, and then we finish off with the awards night at Shagwan. We're going to close it off this year. And we're going to have a drink and an appetizer for all the people who joined. You bring your spouse, we'll give them a drink and an appetizer on us also. That's Mr. and Mrs. P. This tournament is not about making money. You might see the price, and a lot of you guys will complain and say, hey, man, it's expensive. Well, it's a 3-day thing that I do. It costs a lot of money to put this all together. I don't get the cash prizes out of the air. I get it through your guys joining and building this tournament up to what it is. And I add in too. I don't break out of this like, scot-free. This year it's going to be a 10 grand input coming from my end of it. And that's not a joke. When you got prizes from 6 to 15, 200 SX reels, Series 2, X2 Series reels, Van Stahl, guys, come on. Some of the best lure reels out there, underwater. Spin it all day. You'll be fine. Of course, there's other companies out there, but I grew up with a Van Stahl. I've loved them, and I won't stop using them. They've been ready for me. Every single time I go fishing, it's ready. I don't have to worry about the reel. So basically, you spend a lot of money on this tournament, and it's all for you guys. God may not have given me kids, but let me tell you, having you guys, subscribers and followers, has been the best thing for me and my wife. We get out there. We're still out there with you guys, the youth. We're having a good time, and we're going to put this together in the end, and it's going to be a good time, just like last year was. So don't miss out. If you want to join, you go to my site, Mr. Poseidon Official. That's MrPoseidonOfficial.com, and you'll see both tournaments. The Montauk and the New Jersey will be 3 weeks later. That's my first annual I'm doing there. That's going to be another great one. Those Jersey guys. Bro, they got stripers down there more than we've ever seen before. But other than that, these guys know how to catch fish. I've been down there fishing many, many years. Man, Jersey is a great place to fish. Those beaches in Island Beach State Park, phenomenal. You're never going to see anything like that in your life. Us as surf casters get to really enjoy the island feel more than anybody else. You're out in a boat. It's great. I love being on a boat, too. I love it. But I like being out on the ground better and working so hard on the surf and maybe coming up with that lucky, nice fish. Man, is that going to be well earned. What do we call that? Gratifying. So gratifying to catch a nice fish after you work so hard. But other than that, at Point, stay away from New Jersey, no fish. What's going on, buddy? At Point, make some beautiful bags, surf casting bags. You got to check them out. Terrific stuff. Eb, I got to call you up, man. I keep saying that every week, but I got to get some bags off you.
John Franciscone, he says, stop fluking around.
Stop fluking around, right? We'll have a giveaway at the end of the show. I got a couple of things here. So we'll check it out. We'll give it away. All right, now, today, as you guys know, we got Bayside Dave on. We're going to talk about FLUKE today, guys. Let's go. What else are you going to do in the summer? At least down here on the New York end or the Northeast. They're getting them up in Maine right now, I believe. July is their month up there. And then after that, it's on to Canada. Next year, I'm making a trip. Going to Nova Scotia. Van Stahl got its first orders up there from tackle shops. Guys are catching stripers on the beach. So usually when you've ever heard, the fish will go up to Nova Scotia. You think, oh yeah, and then they fish for them up there. No. You were only able to get those fish with boats. But now with this whole structure thing of the temperature and the rising levels of the water and the windmills and whatever's doing this crazy stuff that's happening with the striped bass, they're up there and they're catching them off the beaches. So next year I'd like to do a trip up there. Anybody wants to join me? Let's go. Because I'm going, that's for sure. When I say I'm going, I'm going. So if you guys want to come, just let me know. Maybe we'll do a bus trip. We'll beat each other up and drink on the way up, and then we'll be just fine, ready to go fishing. Nah, I'm just kidding. But anyway, I've been working on the logos. Look, quick look. What do you think, guys? I got the cool, the bad, and the ugly, MSC 2025. That's just a little quick sketch, That's a quick sketch. That's going to my artist, which he got already. So I'm trying to do a couple of things. I got another logo set up. But other than that, man, it's going to be a great time. I can't wait. I can't wait, man. I can't wait. I really can't. So now let's talk about Dave, Bayside Dave. So right now in the summer, we're looking at some fluking. And I'm going to be going fishing with Dave, not this Wednesday, the Wednesday after. We're going to get together. I also have my buddy, John Francisconi. He's going to be coming with me. Going to join us on the beaches in New Jersey over there. And yeah, I can't wait. It's surf fishing, dudes. Surf fishing for fluke. And I like to eat fluke. Maybe we'll do a catch and cook on the beach. We'll see what happens. Chris Bloth, look, man.
Oh, man.
I just want you guys to understand one thing. We're in trouble this year. Because to make that $5,000 first prize, I have to make it by October 1st. I'm about $1,300 short right now. I need you guys to pick up the action because this money that you donate all throughout the year is what makes it add up to $5,000. So my channel's going down the tubes because last year I made $5,000. I made the number. It's not making it this year. Make it for me. Chris, you've always been such a great donator to my channel. That's all I got to say, man. A great guy, Chris Bloth. And you've been a very nice friend to me also. But, guys, we need help. So please help us by buying these super chats. I don't care if they're $1. I'm not asking you to. Chris, that's very nice, $20. You don't get people donating $20 to you every day. It sucks. That Chris has got to do that. Nobody else donates. There we go. Joe Albanese. Look at him. Joe Albanese is the president of the Hudson River Association. I don't know if you've ever spoken up there, Dave. I'll get back to you in a second. But you got to get Dave up there if you haven't gotten him, Joe. Dave's a great guy. He knows his fishing like, I know how to pop a bra in the back of a girl. No, those are the old days. I don't know how to pop today's bras. I think you got to pull them all the way off. They don't even have the straps, right, honey? All right, anyway, my wife's getting all upset at me right now. Anyhow, thanks, Joe. I appreciate you. Stop crying and all. Thanks, Joey. So please help us, guys, by donating. I don't care if it's $1. It's helping us get to where we want to get, and that's to that first prize. I got to have that paid off. I got it. Guys are driving me nuts. Let's go. I got another $5,000 to make up at Jersey this year, also first prize. All right. Let's go down to Dave right now. Say hello to Dave. Dave.
Yo, what's up? Can you guys hear me?
Oh, loud and clear, Davey. What's going on?
I got this new microphone. I got it turned up to 40. Is that enough?
Sounds good.
Yeah, it sounds real. Hold on. Let me do that again. Talk.
Yeah, I'm talking. Bayside Dave here.
Okay, gotcha. I just turned it up. It is very nice.
Very nice.
All right, good. Yeah.
Picks up everything. Definitely. I have to lower it just a little, which is perfect. If everybody had a mic like that.
I hate yelling at the laptop to try to get people to hear me.
No, I hear you.
Chat, man.
That's fact.
Yeah, man.
Fact. Sounds great, Kenny from or Big K from Turtle Cove Tackle. All right, guys. So, what's up, Dave? Dave, look at me. I know you now for a while. What was that, Ro?
What's going on?
Well, what's going on is I'm getting ready to ask Dave some questions. So anyhow, Give some. There we go. Music always settle things down a little bit. Get my goddamn pineapple cup here. That's what it is.
There you go.
Willie J, one more week till the challenge, baby. Let's go, let's go. Sorry about that, guys. Anyhow, Dave.
Yeah, man.
I know you're a big-time striper guy. Catch a lot of stripers. I know you catch all kinds of fucking fish down there. Blackfish, you got it all going on.
From March till December, I'm going wild, brother.
Yeah, there you go. So now, we're talking about summertime coming up, and I'm interested too because before the bass fishing, I used to do a lot of fluke fishing out of Captree boats. So like I told you, I like boats too, but I want to catch fluke off the surf. And I got to be honest, I have a fish. Can we show them that fish, honey?
What's that?
That fish I caught, the fluke.
Where?
It's in my, you
In
go
the
to
cloud?
the very beginning of the photos.
Yeah. Okay, I can
The
go
very,
look
the
for it.
very beginning of the photos. It's the one where me and Dave are running around in, what do they call those bathing suits? Come on.
Swimsuit?
No, the ones I have.
Speedos?
Yeah, Speedos. There you go. She doesn't want to say it. She's like, Speedos? Yeah, me and Dave back in the day.
Oh, yeah, right.
Dave, what do you think? Leave me alone, Eric. I got some chicks over here. I'll get that worm on your hook in a minute. Leave me alone right now. So anyhow, I want to say, Willie J, thank you so much. Thank you for that donation. Bros, help me, all right? Liberty or death. Put it towards the purse. Just don't buy a Louis Vuitton. Isn't he funny? He's funny. You're funny. Damn it, I'm putting in 10 grand into this challenge. I really am. I really am putting in $10,000 on top of it because I don't want to just have a competition where, I want it to be like full blown out. I want it to be like
All out.
boom. And also I want to mention, I went to the Surf Rats Ball shindig, which was the barbecue. I got to be there for a little while. I had a family emergency with my mother that night, and we had to go back to the hospital. Everything is fine other than that, but we had a family emergency, and that's what we did. And it was great. The shindig was absolutely great. Bill Wetzel's great. All the guys I got to meet there, Super Strike, Steve, his dad. I mean, there was so many people there already, because I left at 10:30. The party started at 10. I was there at 7. I was helping out, doing some setting up. And I just wanted to be there at least for a little while. And plus, I had to drop off the prize that I donated, which was the F-Series reel, the 200, which was a third prize placing. Remember, to join that tournament is free. It's freaking free, man. Free. It really is free. What you got to do, though, is you got to become a member. And don't sit there and tell me, oh, but that's not free. $35. If you tell me that's a lot of money for some great information on the site you can go to and pick up information, phenomenal. All right. But we got to get back to the main issue, which is fluke right now. Thank you, Bill Wetzel. They raised money. All the money there was raised for the kidsneedmore.org. Fantastic. But let's get back to the fluking and to the donating on my channel. Donate our money. We need the help. So going back to my buddy Dave here. Dave, here we are now in July. What are you doing fishing right now? Tell me, Dave.
Fluke fishing, baby.
Tell me a little bit about it.
Striper was winding down. You can still get them at night, early morning, around the lighthouse area of LBI here, up and down the jetty and all that stuff. But, starting in April, end of April into May, they started coming into the inlets and we're fishing off the jetty there and in the pocket that we call it up in Barnegat Light, which is on the beach side of the jetty, the inlet, I should say, the jetty inlet. And then as time ticked on, they started filling in the surf. And here I am, mid-island. I live in Surf City here on Long Beach Island. I'm 2 blocks from the beach. I get on my little fanny pack and I grab my rod and I walk 2 blocks down the beach and I just start catching fluke, man. They're in the surf right now.
Wow.
And this is a really good year for fluke. We're seeing a lot of 20-inch plus fish off the beach. You know, a lot of times we're going on the beach and we're picking up, you know, a couple dozen shorts, you know, from 14 to 16 inches. And every now and then you get a keeper 18, 19 inch. You know, the average to be about 1 in 10, 1 in 15. We're starting to get 1 in 5. You know, every fifth, sixth fish you're getting a keeper, and you know it's really good because you know even the 19s and the 20s have a lot of meat on them. But you know, I had a 22 and a 23, and my God, they were all of 4 pounds, and you know that's some strong heavy fish, man. They're eating some good stuff, whatever they're doing in there, and they make great table fare, you know, and good fights too. You know,
Yeah.
I set my drag pretty tight. I always leave it a little open just in case I get a big fish on. And that 20 inch, that 23 inch fish, when it saw the surf, when it saw the beach, it turned around and took off and took a little drag with it. And I was pretty surprised. But yeah, those fish are pretty active, and they're very aggressive feeders. People don't realize how aggressive fluke are. You know, they're flat fish, you know, and you think that the mouth is only going to open thin like they are. When those mouths open up, they open up round, and they got teeth in there, and they grab some pretty big baits. And you know, we're all fishing with the Gulp products. You know, this is my main rig right here. You know, a lot of guys like using that high-low rig, which is a 2-hook dropper loop rig. I've kind of backed it down to just a single dropper loop. You know, I got a 6.0 hook on the end here. I got a 5-inch Gulp
Yeah.
mullet. No, it's not a mullet. It's a grub. Pink shine. I like the pinks. I like the whites. And you know, I get a lot more distance just throwing a single hook rig.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's pretty much my go-to.
Yeah, I remember when I was a kid, it was always with the killies, man. Everybody would show up with killies. But today
Yeah,
they're
there's
so
nothing wrong with
expensive.
that, you
Yeah,
know.
go ahead.
There's nothing wrong with live baits, strip baits. You know, I strip out bluefish. I
Yep,
strip out mullet,
bluefish.
bluefish especially.
Yeah.
Before we weren't allowed to catch more than 5 fish, I'd go to the surf in the springtime and get a couple dozen snappers.
Yeah.
And flay them out and salt them and throw them in the freezer.
Yeah.
And every the days that I would go fluke fish, I would just take it out of the freezer, strip them up, and I'd use them. And I'd use them on this rig here. This is what I use for strip baits. I use a 4.0 hook, and I put a little bucktail enhancement on there.
Yeah, a little teaser.
You can see that you slide it right on
Yeah.
the line there.
Yeah.
You tie your hook onto it, and it adds a little attractant to the fish, to your bait. I mean, and it's got a little flash on it like any old bucktail would.
I like that,
And you got your
Dave.
strip hanging off the end of there, and man, you put on any kind of strip baits on there. You know, the bluefish strips. You got mullet strips.
Bunker too. Bunker.
mackerel strips.
Bunker you could do.
And even some squid strips and all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, add a little attractant to it. Add a
Sure.
little skirt to it. You know, when you're tying your rigs, and it really helps.
The volume.
But what I've been really fishing a lot with lately is just a jig head. A jig head with a jerk bait on it.
Nice.
I'll do like a 1/4 ounce. This is a 1/2 ounce just because you can see it better here.
Sure.
I don't put this on the end of a line. On the end of a rig. I just clip it right to my line and fish the surf with that. You know, you got those. You got paddle tails. You know, the Kettle Creeks. You know, they go for these things, man. I'm a little backwards here. Which way is this thing going?
No, that's fine. That's fine.
And I also started getting these. If you guys haven't seen them, these little spinners that you screw on. You clip off the end of the tail, and these things just screw right on. They're little spinners.
That's pretty cool, Dave.
And they work really well.
I could see them just chewing that up, boy.
A couple different sizes too. These little bigger ones.
Sweet. Who makes those? Who makes those, Dave?
I don't know who makes them, man. I just found them. You'll find them online.
Dave's not going to give up the secret, guys. That's what it is.
Oh, you want to see something?
Yeah.
A buddy of mine owns a bait and tackle shop. Well, he works for it, and he has this product that they got. This is the biggest one they have. This is an actual soft bait, real hard real hard plastic. It has the thing already attached to it.
Mm.
He said he was in the inlet catching fluke with this thing, and look at the size of this thing.
Yeah.
And that proves how aggressive fluke are. And you guys all know, you open up a fluke, sometimes those big fluke have a spot in there, have a snapper blue in their belly.
Sure.
You know, the other day I was drifting the bay with a buddy of mine, and there's a lot of croakers in the bay down by us, and there was like a 4-inch croaker in the belly of this fish. Well, not in the belly, he spit it up, and he must have just ate it because it was pretty dead and it wasn't decayed or anything like that. So I put it on as a bait, and I threw it down there and I caught a fish with it. So a 3-inch croaker. Very aggressive fish, these fluke are, man. These very aggressive fish. Earlier in the season, I was plugging the surf looking for bass, and I was using my hydro minnow. I showed you this on my last time I was on your show. I called it an SP minnow, but it's a hydro minnow. It's the same as an SP pretty much. But a fluke hit this thing. I got him on the tail. Hit the treble. It was like a 19-inch fluke hit this thing. Buddy of mine used these jerk baits. These
he's showing
these freshwater jerk baits. He uses these a lot for catching fluke. And when I was at a flea market, I was at a fishing show. Pappy's Pride makes these metal lip swimmers, and he sold me this. He said, this short, fat metal lip, you will catch fluke with this. And what I'm doing this year is I'm bringing all these lures with me to the beach.
Now, I got to ask you something. I got to ask you.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're talking metal lip right now. You know, you can always angle it differently, but, you know, you can't just buy one and start bending it yourself, because the maker of that lure made that lure to work like that with that precise angle in the bend. But you can buy them where they are angled that way, and you can make them go deeper.
Yeah, run deeper, yeah.
Right. Now I'm wondering, you know, that one, it has to be a little deep diving, shouldn't it?
Yeah, this one he says he'll dive deeper. He said this one will go down about 10 or 15 feet.
Yeah, that's it. That's the angle of the front, and I can see it from here.
Yeah. So I have yet to try it, but that's my deal this year. And I was going to do that last year. I was going to see how many types of lures I can get fluke with. But last year sucked with the upwelling and the south wind, and I just stopped fluke fishing at the end of July because I'm going to the beach, fishing for 3 hours, getting 2 14-inch fish. So I just stopped fluke fishing.
Who makes that? Who makes that,
off
Dave?
the chain.
Who makes that? What you're holding?
This is a Pappy's Pride.
Pappy's Pride, guys. Where can they see him? On Instagram?
Yeah, he's got a Facebook page. He's got a website.
Pappy's Pride, right there, guys. That thing, you know, Dave's telling us that it dives about 15 feet. So even if you're on a boat, you're in about, you know, good 10 feet of water, you don't have no problem getting down to the bottom hunting for those flukies there.
And fluke will come up. The fluke don't necessarily hit the right off the bottom. I've seen fluke come up in 12 feet of water.
Of course.
Feeding on rainfish on the surface in 12 feet of water. It was almost like a blitz that was going on in the bay, where we just kept seeing fluke just come up and popping at this school of rainfish that was on the surface. And that was in 12 feet of water. It was amazing.
I got to show you my fish that I got. This one's a little old. I got to put it around the...
How many years ago?
20 years ago, I'm going to say this one is, but you guys will laugh.
About 12 years
Yeah, I got
ago.
2 pictures of this fish. One is bent, doesn't look as big. But then I went to Captree Bait and Tackle. I tried to get in at that time it was still paperback, I think, the Long Island Fisherman. And I tried to get in there, but I realized I didn't get in there because, it's been from, predominantly, boat magazine and people on there, trying to get people on boats to get on there. So I don't think they want to show. But there goes the fish right there. Mm-hmm. Show them the other one when I hold it up, honey. That one, yeah. So that was a 31.5-inch, 10.5-pound fish. That, it stood for a while as a pretty big fish to me. But I want to go back to you, Dave, and I want to talk about the fish this year. I mean, on the boats, I've been hearing in the 40s, bro. Bro, in the 40s, and I'm talking 40 inches, 42, 43-inch fish that have been caught. Some big fluke this year. What's up with that?
In the 40s? I haven't heard that. That must be...
Yeah, that was on Instagram the other day. I saw 43-inch fluke, and I saw a few 30s. Big fish. These are off the boat. I guess they're in deeper water. But even on the surf, like you said, there've been plenty of fish caught over that 20 mark. Easy keepers to take home and have a great meal.
Oh yeah, we've seen that a lot this year. Even especially earlier in the season, we had up to 28 inches off the surf. I don't know if we had the 30s yet, but I think I heard late the largest was 28 and a half or something like that off the surf.
Right.
And that's unheard of. And even still, like I said at the beginning, we're getting up 20-inch plus, 21 and a half, 22s, 23s, 24s. And right now we're getting them in the inlets. Apparently they're starting to leave the bay. And not that the bays aren't any good right now, but you start getting that where at the end of the summer, they just start making their way back out to the ocean where they're going to hit the surf for a while before they hit back out to the wrecks and reefs. And we got guys fishing the inlets right off the jetties, right off the lighthouse walkway, catching 24, 25-inch fish. And that's a serious fluke when you're pulling in fish over 20 inches.
I'm telling you, brother, it is. I love it. I'll never forget that day when I got the fish off the beach. I caught it on bunker chunk, and I was going for striper, bro, and it was 2 in the afternoon. I didn't get a bite all night, and all of a sudden, I got something. I feel something that I'm reeling in, but it was heavy, and it wasn't swinging or anything. A lot of fluke will do that. You get to the edge of the water, they start seeing that ground catching up to them. They start battling away. But I remember that day, and I was just reeling in. I'm like, what the hell do I got on? And when I saw the wave roll over, it was just a big tar mat, it looked like. And I thought I hooked up to a big giant weed or something, but as soon as it crashed to the ground, then the fluke went nuts. Then, when the wave broke, then the fluke went nuts. And I go, oh, my God, I got a fish on here. And
I find a lot with these bigger fluke. I call it they just grab and lay. Especially when you're drifting. The smaller fish, they get up. I mean, they hit hard, and like I said, when you're drifting around in the bays or out in the ocean or whatever, and you're fluke fishing, and you get a hard hit, and wow, that's a heavy fish. And as you reel it up, it's losing weight. But the bigger fish, they just grab and lay down, and there's been a few times. I was out in the bay last week, and my partner's like, I think I'm snagged. And it ended up being a 26-inch fluke. And it wasn't a lot of head shake until it started getting up towards the boat. And then he's like, oh, this is something here. It ain't losing weight, I guess those bigger fish are just maybe a little lazier or just a little more, I don't know, just tired of the hard fight. I don't know. But the little ones, they hit hard.
Yeah.
When you bang,
Yep.
That's a little fit, not little, but certainly not the bigger ones that just, like I said, they just grab and lay.
Yeah,
and you gotta pull them up.
It's amazing. Like you just said, I remember as a kid going with Killies, and was going with one of my father's good friends, and that was the first time in my life I actually started catching some fish. My father really wasn't like a sportsman, but he still took me. I wanted to go. My mom pushed him, but he was a good dad. He took me fishing.
Nice.
But like you just said, I remember catching them. You didn't know if you had something right away. And the way you are, you always have to keep lifting up your rod and checking it. Now, we're talking with bait because they can grab it and they could suck on it, and then you'll be done. So you got to check it every once in a while. And that's when I would hook them, and then you'd wait, and as soon as they got close to the pier that I was fishing off for them, then they'd give you a nice fight.
Yeah, man.
But it was nice catching those fish back in the day. I remember bringing them home, and my father was like, where'd you catch these? Oh, Jimmy brought you, and that was a guy's name, Jimmy. And, it's how I got into fishing even more. Once you start catching, it's a beautiful, gratifying feeling after putting in so much work. And the way we are today, Dave, look, I'm not all catch and release. With the stripers, I am. I'm a catch and release guy. I want to eat fish, I go to a nice restaurant, I order some fish. But if it's the fluke and stuff, they give you that limit. They give you, this fish around. I don't feel as bad, but I do love to eat fluke. I love fluke, period, flounder, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, same here.
But I love those fish. I mean, I get it, they're bottom feeders, but so are striped bass. But anyhow.
I don't know why people use the term bottom feeder as a bad thing.
They use it as a bad thing, yeah.
Because they're not eating garbage. I mean, you know, a lot of these bottom feeders are eating crustaceans. They're eating mussels. They're eating crabs.
Yeah.
Any fish that eats mussels and crabs and crustaceans, that's a good, solid, sweet meat. You know, blackfish, bottom feeder, probably one of the better eaten fish you'll have. You know, sea bass. They're down at the bottom. They're by the wrecks. They're eating all those crustaceans. You're not going to get better tasting fish.
You know what I learned the other day, that all these beaches in the world, we have that white sand. It's from eating coral, crustaceans. When they break it up through their gills and they take just the meat, all that little crystal that falls out is sand. And slowly it's been built up over time. I forgot the name of the fish that's majorly in charge of that. It eats coral consistently, and it spits out the sand out of its gills. It's amazing. It's amazing. And it's where all the sand comes from all over the world. I couldn't believe when I heard this. I was like, no way. But then again, we're only alive, basically averaging out here 40 years, all of us. And this planet's been going for millions and millions of years. Really grasp that. Yeah. Millions of years in evolution, you know? So,
yeah, man.
Anyhow. So, Dave, I love what I'm hearing right now, especially the part about the bottom feeding. I've always thought of bottom feeders as strictly, you know, they just ate garbage, but it's not now. I'm hearing. Look what you're telling me. I learned something.
Yeah, they're eating mussels. They're eating crabs. They're eating clams, crustaceans. That's all good stuff, brother. And when you're fishing the surf, looking for fluke, you know, you don't stay in one spot and be like, it ain't happening today. You know, you got to move around.
Of course.
Work a spot for about 20 minutes, half hour tops. Fan casting, as we call it. Cast to your right a few times, cast to your left a few times, out to the center. Work that whole area for about 20 minutes. Nice, slow retrieve. Give a little jerk, give a little twitch, give a little action as you're retrieving. Bring it right to your feet. You know, those fluke will hit right in the last break there, in the wash, as we call it. And you know, you'll be reeling in and reeling, you know, nice and slow, and then you'll be like, it's close enough, then spinning it. You probably just pulled it right out of the face of some fluke that was following it all the way in. And you know, you just got to work each area. I always say about 20 minutes, 25 minutes or so, and then just walk down about 50 yards and try again. You know, fluke can be found in deep water. Fluke can be found in the shallows. You know, the way the beaches are formed down here on LBI, and I'm sure elsewhere in New Jersey, you know, you have the beach that runs into the water. You have the sand that runs into the water, forms a trough between the beach, and then you got the sandbar. And then the sandbar doesn't run for miles. It breaks up every block or so to let the water back out to the ocean, because the sandbar breaks up the power of the wave as it comes in. So there's not that much power to get back over that sandbar. So it creates a rip and cuts through and makes a hole for the water to get out. So that's where those deep holes are formed. Then you got the trough that forms between the beach and the sandbar. And sometimes those sandbars will run right up to the beach and create a shoal. And that's a lot of nice shallow water there. And I've had many times where it's a higher tide. That shoal is covered with about maybe a 2 foot, maybe 2.5 feet of water. And you're thinking, there ain't no fish there. I'll target that area. And especially when we have some good waves coming in, not that they're big and heavy, but that you have something that's breaking and crashing and forming a little white water and churning up the sand. Fish love that. That's why fish are in the surf. Yes. They're looking for food. How does a lot of food, as we call it, as the crabs, sand eels, sand fleas, you know, they're all in the sand, buried down to try to hunker down, to try to protect themselves. A wave hits, it churns up the sand. Those things are floating around now.
Yeah.
And that's what's creating the action.
You know, Dave,
so
I got